so forth. So
Okay, we're up and live on YouTube. So welcome everybody. This is the Wisconsin Area Camera Club Organization Spring 2021 photo competition. We have already judged the first round of images. We had 475 images that were judged, and we will be working on the award images today. We have three judges with us. Jeff McDonald, which you're from, what, Unlimited? Which camera club, Jeff, are you from?
East Troy Viewfinders.
East Troy. Trying to remember. And then we have two other outside judges, Fred Rogers and Jim Cadwell. I've got a brief history or introduction for each of them. Let me go through it real quick. Jim Cadwell has been passionate about photography since the first picked up a camera as a child. He is currently travels throughout the United States and the world with his cameras. He is also co-host of the photography podcast, The Photo Bug, available at www.thephotobug.com and on the Photobug YouTube channel. So welcome Fred, or Jim, and Fred Rogers is the other one, other judge, outside judge. Fred has been an avid photographer from the day that he first picked up his grandfather's Kodak 35mm and started capturing images near his home in Memphis, Tennessee. His love of nature was a key factor in his continued interest in plant, landscape, and later wildlife photography. He has worked with Jim Cadwell as co-host of the Photobug podcast since 2009. Now I know how Elizabeth found the two judges.
Virtual, great.
Yeah, he enjoys sharing his knowledge by teaching workshops in Florida and at the Black Hills Photo Shootout in South Dakota. So welcome to our two outside judges. And Jeff McDonald's from Whitewater, Wisconsin, works in information technology and accounting. Photography has been his passionate pursuit for about 15 years. He has served as volunteer board member and officer of his local arts group, the Whitewater Arts Alliance, and chairs its annual photo competition. Jeff's photography has been awarded medals at international photography exhibitions in the United States, Canada, Australia, Europe, Africa, and Asia, and he holds PSA's QPSA distinction. His photographic interests include black and white, long exposure, landscape architect, and still life photography. And he is our judge this time because he also won Best of Show from the fall competition last year. So welcome all three of you. Thank you for doing this. I know it's not an easy job. There's always a lot of good images to choose from. So
may I point out, if anybody's interested, the Photobug is the FOTO bug instead of PH. So if anybody wants to go with that there.
Yep.
We're terrible spellers.
So, all right, judges, what we're going to be doing, we've sort of explained it, but we'll run through this a little bit. We'll be going through each of the divisions, starting with monochrome open projected. We will be showing you the top images. Generally, the top ones for monochrome were scored 14 and 13s. So there's only 4 images that you need to work with in this first round, which we will show you in a second. What we will do is, well, Ken, we really don't have to do an in and out.
I don't think so. No, not
Yeah,
on this one.
on these 4. What we'll do is have you just chat amongst yourselves to decide which of those four. And if you have a problem narrowing it down to at least the top three so that we can, award a first, second, and third. And we'll get started with that. Let me screen share. Let's see, that's screen number 2. Oh, sure. Now you're going to rearrange all my windows again.
Oh, what did I do?
All right, because I need to see them. So you should be seeing a flower. Oops, except that it went away. Now, are you seeing a flower? Sort of a really funny looking flower?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good monochrome, isn't it?
If you're colorblind.
Yeah. All right. So, like I said, we have 4 images. I will go through the 4 so that you can see each one. What we really want is that, not compare. Survey. Okay, now you've got all 4 images up on the screen, so you can talk amongst the 3 of you to come up with what you feel should be first, second, and third from these 4 images. We don't like to make it real easy to get you started.
No.
There's nothing easy about any of them.
Well, I like the story that the bear image tells. It's
Yeah,
kind of a nice moment.
Yeah,
Yes.
my 2 favorites here was the bear, and I like the idea of the frosted glass, which we don't get here in Florida at all.
Now, both are beautiful. The bear, not only was it a really good story, but when I started looking at the quality of the surroundings, the background, the foreground, the way the bear was framed, everything, it really was very well done. Great capture. So, I mean, I really thought that was amazing. All 4 of these images are good. And I'll be honest, I did like the surfer dude because that was a good action catch. And there was, some very good things to be said about it. But I guess if I have to go back to it, for me, that bear is the top one, and so is the frost, both very good. I don't know how anybody else feels about these, but these are some excellent photos. It's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, I think any of these could have won at any other time or any year. The all excellent pictures.
Yeah, I think so too. I do like the seascape landscape image.
Yes.
It's a nice lead into with the moorings onto the boats leading right out to toward the sunset and toward the
Right.
house across the way.
Well, the lines in that photo really pull your eyes where they wanted you to go to see the different elements of this photo. It's very well done. And usually for me, sunsets like this in black and white can be a challenge to look at and say, this is beautiful, this is great. This one, very, very well done.
Mhm.
Tough one. I guess we have to kind of start saying which one do we think that we would put as the one.
From a difficulty standpoint, the bear and the surfer would be, I think, the 2 toughest ones to
Yes.
shoot. And I'm still leaning toward the bear.
I would tend to put the bear first. I like the seascape and the frost next best.
Yes.
I don't
Those
have a
were-
ranking for those.
Yeah, those were my top two as well.
I'm thinking that we're agreeing that the bear seems to be edging out just by a nose. Sorry.
And a nice sharp nose it is. You know.
You say I barely won there? There.
Okay.
Sorry.
Here we go.
If you want more, listen to the podcast.
So you want to label the bear as number 1? And that way we can
I think so.
Yeah,
I agree.
I
Yes.
agree.
on to number 2 and number 3.
Was tough, but I'm kind of leaning toward the frost, just 'cause it's so unusual.
Yeah, it's a nice abstract.
Hmm.
I like that for a place, and I could go along with second. Okay, I really do like that seascape image though, and
Yeah,
personally, I think for me that edges out the frost, but
Hmm.
I can go either way.
I would
Well-
go along either one of the. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
tough.
The frost was well done, the way that they got the background. I mean, there's not a flaw in it. And it's a nice abstract, but at the same time, it's just sharp. It's just beautiful.
Yep.
And judging, of course, now we're looking at the surfer dude. To me, what really got me was I knew that was a difficult capture to get. I know, and it was tough probably trying to get the light to behave the way you wanted, because you're in a very reflective environment with all the elements there. That seascape, it's, if somebody said, I'm going to frame that and send it to you, I'd say, bring it on. It'll go in my living room. You know, it's beautiful shot. It's a tough one, because I'm going to have to say it is definitely between the frost and the seascape.
Okay.
And let us see that seascape one last time, please.
Sure.
I'm bringing them up here too on a
There
separate
you go.
computer so I can see them as well.
Actually, I can do that so that you got them both.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
They're both very well done.
Well, I don't. Everybody
Extremely
gotta-
well done. Yes.
I hate to flip a coin, but as I look at them, I'm leaning more toward the seascape.
That's the way I'm leaning.
I'm going to have to concur, I guess, guys, because I mean, and now we're talking tight. You know, if we were looking at speed, we'd be talking at, hundredths of a second here.
Hmm.
Wow. But yeah, I think the slight lean for the second spot would be to the seascape.
Oh. And then, did you want this one then as third, or?
That's what I would say.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sort
I
of
would
sounded
concur
that
with
way.
that, yeah.
Okay. Okay, this one has to go. Okay. Okay, great. We got, Ken, you got your stuff all done?
Got them all recorded.
Okay. All right, this next one is mono nature projected. Ken, did you have the definition?
Oh,
You had it for open. I thought maybe you.
let's see here.
Or wait, I don't know if I want to read that whole thing. Got it from this morning's meeting. Sure. All that paperwork we have. There it is. Okay, not that we're going to read the whole definition, but nature photography is restricted to using the photographic process to depict all branches of natural history, except anthropology and archaeology, in such a fashion as a well-informed person will identify the subject material and certify its honest presentation. Human elements should not be presented except where those human elements are an integral part of the nature story, such as nature subjects like barn owls or storks, adapted to an environment modified by humans, or where those human elements are in situations depicting natural forces like hurricanes, tidal waves, scientific bands, tags, and radio collars on wild animals are permissible. Photographs of human-created hybrid plants, cultivated plants, animals, domesticated animals are also allowed. Division shall include subjects, be they captive or free. The subject should not be moved to a studio. I'm just double checking to make sure. Techniques that enhance the photograph's presentation without changing the nature story of the graphic content or altering the original scene content are permitted, including HDR, focus stacking, dodging and burning. Techniques that remove elements added by the camera are allowed. All elements must appear natural. So that's just reading our rough nature division category. We have 7 images that scored 14s and 13s. I'll run through the 7. So judges, what we'll do is an in and out, since we have 7 images. Raise your hand if you want the image in, and hold your hand in front of your body because of your artificial backgrounds, your hand disappears.
That's weird.
Yeah, it looks like there's a stump there and it's hard to tell.
My hand's
Um,
raised.
Yeah. So we'll start with this image here.
Is there,
And,
how many should we vote for as ends? Or does it,
we need to get it down to 3 or 4 images. So if you each vote for 2 in, I think you'll probably be pretty safe. And if we eliminate too many, we'll always can bring them back.
Okay.
So let's start on this image here. Looks like we got 2. Okay. And if I don't see anything, I figure it's a 0. Zero. We got 2. Looks like 1. 1. And 1. Well, we got it down to 2. We can do that to be able to pick the first place. So it's down to these 2 for first place and possibly second.
My
So
favorite
I'd
was the
like
glowing horns. I really liked that one.
me too, that really jumped out at me.
Yeah, when I first saw that, it,
So do you want to go with glowing horns? I can't
Sure.
read.
yes.
I would, yeah.
We get a consensus from all 3 judges? I didn't see.
Consensus,
Okay,
Consensus.
we all agreed.
all right. And that's the title, Glowing Horns. So would you want this one to be second, or would you like me to bring back the rest of those images?
I'd say bring back the rest of the images.
Okay. I just have to take out that one. So we've got those 6. Would you like to do an in and out, or would you want to just discuss? We need second and third place. With 6, we could do another in and out if you'd like.
Sure.
Okay. Let me clear it out. We'll start with this one.
There you go.
Okay, all right, we got 2. Zero. 0. 0. We get 1. And we get a 2. So it looks like we have 2 of them again. Now we have these 2 for second and third. We don't like making it easy for you guys.
And you're not.
I know the emu really works for me. I mean,
I
it's,
like the emu too. I think the framing could have been a little bit different on the bison.
agreed.
So are we agreed?
Yeah, it's a tough one because I liked I like the bison and the elements. At the same time, I hear what the other two esteemed gentlemen are saying here. And the emu, as far as a headshot of that type of bird, it's very, very well done. Especially, I like the way the background mutes in nicely so it doesn't distract. Usually can be a tough one for that element. So I guess I would agree with the other judges that the emu edges out by a beak.
By a beak, huh? So the emu is second and the bison is third. You all agree?
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
All right. Two. Okay. The next round is color open projected. Pretty much with this round, anything goes. There are no restrictions or anything for it. It's just general subject. We have 6 images that scored 14s and 13s. And I'll run through the 6. Okay. So why don't we do judges in and out? We'll start with this image. Okay, 0. Three.
Yep.
0. 2. 1. 0. And that's it. Okay, let's see what we got. So we got 2 images that scored a 2 and a 3. I'll show both images and we can pick the first place from these 2.
Well, the image of Port Washington Lighthouse, just, I mean, the power in that wave
That is very dramatic.
is incredible. And the
Yeah.
birds really add to the composition, and it's framed up nicely with the pier leading into it. I think that's a really strong image. And I think the other image is very strong too. Nice colors, kind of a
Oh.
completely different feel to the two images.
Yeah, I like the color in there, but you're right. The high waves there is, well, I can't imagine any more dramatic than that.
So did you want to go with the high waves one is first?
I think even though the color is really great on the fall, and it really brings out a different aspect of that. You even see a little of the tannic acid in some of the fall, but then you see the sun's colors really hitting and reflecting out from the foliage, et cetera, around it. It's amazing, but the power in the lighthouse is just wow.
Yeah, the impact of that one, that would be my choice, I think, for number
That
one.
really pulls a heavy emotional response when you see that.
Okay.
So
Did you want to give this one a number 2, or do you want to see the rest of the images that you?
I'm thinking we have our 1 and 2.
Okay.
It works for me.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right.
It was between that one and one of the other, I think the duck, but I think we all tended to lean toward this one. So
Okay. Well, let me bring back the rest here. Well, yeah, we got the duck. Got this one, and this one. These are the ones that were left. We need a third place.
So it sounds like you guys were
I think
leaning
it's-
towards the duck as the
yeah,
third.
yeah, with the peekaboo, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a wonderful image.
Hmm.
I also
Yeah.
like the flock of birds in front of the port. I think that's Port Washington Lighthouse again too.
Yeah,
It's
think-
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's dramatic, but it's also a play on color. I mean, that's just, the reds and orange really make it stand out.
it looks like it's on fire.
Mhm. But I think to me the duck really, it tells a nice story,
Mhm.
Yes, yeah, it
a
does.
different story, nice story.
And
It's very
even
technically well done.
Mhm.
yes, and the way that they were able to frame it so those feathers,
And with the eye
Or-
peeking out.
yeah, with the eye peeking out, that just really makes that photo.
Okay.
Sounds like it's a duck.
Sounds like it's the duck. Great. Okay. So.
It looks like the duck fills the bill.
Yeah.
Anybody got a rim shot?
I was gonna say I beat Jim to that one.
I'm not in my right office for that stuff. Okay. Now, this next round is color nature projected. So pretty much the same rules that were in mono nature projected. It's a nature image, so it can't be retouched, etc. Everything falls for these images. So the same rules, except it's color instead of monochrome. We have 8 images. This is actually the hardest one usually to do. All of these images receive 13s. And I'll go through them all. Okay, again, we have 8 images. We'll do in and out. And we'll start with this image. Looks like a 1. Zero. One. Zero. 2. 0. 2. And a 0. So we have 2 images to try to get a first place from. You can discuss.
From a difficulty standpoint, the hummingbird, it takes, it's a tough one to get.
Yes.
To freeze
Agree
the
with that.
wings.
And I have to say, both tell a good story. I like the wolf in the snow. That was very well photographed. Not as difficult to do as the hummingbird, but it definitely tells a story. That's what makes both of these a difficult one to pick as the top.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, in some ways, I lean a little more towards the hummingbird because of the difficulty, as well as that it was just a very well done capture.
Yeah, most definitely. It's technically extremely well done. There's just something about that stately expression on that wolf that, yeah, with all the snow coming down. I mean, that really speaks to me.
Yeah,
I
well,
hear
he's the title was leader of the pack. That definitely is a good title for that one. I'd say he's definitely the alpha.
Yeah.
This is tough, but I'd be willing to go along with the other 2 judges. So
Well, that was easy for you to say.
very, very easy.
He said it first. He makes it a little harder for you two.
Now the arm wrestling starts, right?
I got an idea. Well, it's a tie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because the longer I look, the more I keep going, no, this one, no, the other one. Wow. I really do enjoy the winter scene around the wolf, as well as, like you say, the expression. And it's technically well done, but also speaks volumes. Both definitely get an emotional response from me. But, Jeff, where are you leaning, my friend?
I like the wolf. I like them both, but I like the wolf just ever so slightly more, just because of the expression, the surroundings, just like the story it tells. Now the hummingbird is extremely well done, very technically hard to get, and was got. I mean, it was but to me, the wolf is my preference.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've got a first and second. The wolf
Yeah,
first.
I think we got a
hummingbird
first and second.
Okay.
The wolf by a whisker. But well done to both photographers on that. Wow.
Yep, absolutely.
What's all that white stuff around the wolf? I did.
The best we could do down here is we'd have to throw sand up in the air.
Yeah, well, it must be blowing sand then.
You can come up here in winter. We'll take you around.
You know what? I'd love to do that. We're gonna have to make that happen one time, so in the near future.
Awesome.
I
Well,
can't
not
talk.
near.
I'm
Please-
heading.
Please not near. We are just getting out of winter.
Not yet.
And I'm heading to
time.
Iceland and Greenland here shortly, so I
Yeah.
can't talk.
Okay, we've
Okay.
got, these 6 are what's left.
And I am leaning towards the
So for third place,
third
Yeah,
place,
this would be 3rd place.
bird with the
really,
fruit.
I was gonna say, I really love the color on that cedar waxwing.
Yeah. And the
My-
good capture of it with the fruit, with the mouth open like that, just not only technically well done, but the color is very nice.
I agree. The only problem I have with that image is the lower left corner.
Lower, yeah. Yeah, I got, you're right.
It's a little bit of a distraction.
Yeah,
I mean, the other hummingbird is pretty nice too, and the hippo, that really tells a story of, if you're thinking about doing something to my calf, better think
Right.
again. I mean, that's,
Yeah, hippo would have been my second choice there.
interesting.
But now that you pointed out that
Yeah.
lower left-hand corner,
I was too drawn to the top and I
Me
didn't
too.
see that. That it almost looks like a flare, but I know it isn't. But I have to say the ram pawing the earth just slightly with head down like that. I don't know if, to me, he's trying to assert a little dominance or a challenge. But the background on that hummingbird, that's some delicious bokeh. I mean, very well done.
and it's so complementary to the coloring of the feathers of the hummingbird too.
Exactly, yes. Well, now that we've talked around that one, where are we leaning here?
That's what I was just gonna ask.
Here, there, and everywhere.
it sounded like we had it narrowed down to the hummingbird. And I think the cedar waxwing, it kind of all decided because of the lower left.
Yeah,
And the hippo, between those two.
that might be a good way to look between the hippo and the hummingbird.
Let me, I can narrow it down here so that you can see
Okay.
those 2 side by side.
And what I like about the hippo is that when tells a story. I mean,
Yeah,
I agree that technically that hummingbird image is beautiful. I mean,
Yes, it
there's
is.
so much just gorgeous detail in all the feathering. There's the
Mhm.
highlights are very well controlled.
yeah,
The
nice
background
eye
is thrown
highlight.
out,
Yep.
yeah. Catch light, yeah. So to me, it's between a technically very well done image and a very well captured story.
mhm.
mhm.
Everybody speak at once.
Yeah. Well, I'll pull a Jim here. I'd be willing to go one. No, it's
I've
a
already
tough
used
one.
that.
I know you've used that one. That card's gone. I have to agree. The hippo tells
Yes.
the story. It definitely tells the better story of the two, but it's hard to ignore that technical expertise and just the coloration. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'd go along with the hummingbird.
Me too.
Mhm.
Okay,
I think
sounds like the hummingbird.
just by that much,
Yeah.
a hair's breadth like that, it's just.
Just by a feather.
Well, just so you all realize that any of these that don't get an award are still getting an honorable mention. So
Oh,
they
good.
are getting
That's
an award.
excellent. These are some great photographs.
Absolutely.
I think any other day, with any other judges, any one of these could be winners. So.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I think we have our first, second, and third.
Yep. See, I already did that. So it's gotta just get there. Second and third. Okay. Ken, now I'm going to ask you, because I don't have the definition for the open special theme. Do you have that near you?
Well, the problem I have, Jeff, is because you're sharing the screens, I cannot get down to my Word document to bring it
All
up.
right. Let me see if I can find it. This might take me a second, but I didn't think of pulling it like I should have. And of course,
I have it from the website.
well, good. Then you can read it, Elizabeth.
All right, we're on open, right? Altered
Open
reality.
special theme. Yeah.
All right.
Altered reality.
The altered reality category's primary distinction is that the maker intends and the viewer easily recognizes that the image is not a representation of reality. The altered reality image must have a photographic base of the maker's creation. Manipulation of the basic image or images can be done in camera or in a computer. The use of brushes and textures made by others is allowed in altered reality, as is the use of software to create unusual effects. Altered reality image makers should feel free to use a wide range of tools and resources, limited only by imagination.
And we have 5 images to pick first, second, and third from. And we'll start with this image here, and I'll go through them. And just so the judges know, we are picking from the 15, 14s, and 13 scored images, and for the attendees. So, oh, and Jeff McDonald's gone Hulk for us. He's all green. Hopefully you're seeing the images fine, Jeff.
I see a gray screen. I saw the images you just
Right,
showed.
yeah, I've got them turned off right now. So we'll do in and out with the 5. So we'll start with this image. And 0. Looks like 3. Uh, 2 or 3, I think.
So 3 on that, Jeff.
Okay, thanks.
My hand was off.
Yeah, well, it's Jeff's green. He's all green on my screen, so I'm having a harder time seeing his hand. This looks like a 0. And a 0. So we've got 2 images for to pick first and second.
I tell you, I love the dog.
Yeah,
the little sinker.
I agree. I think it demonstrates a very tasteful use of a painterly tool.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Photograph.
And I'm assuming, I can't tell if that leaf was added or if that was really there when he photographed it, but it's well done.
Yeah.
I'd have to agree on that one. It's really caught my eye as far as a processed image, and it's very well done, not overdone, which is easy to do with something like this.
Right. Yep. Well, the rhino is a nice image too, in a different way. I mean, it's
Yes.
a nice application of background texture
Mhm.
that complements the subject.
And when I picked these out originally, that was my first and second. The dog first, the rhino was second.
So is that your decision?
Dog first and rhino second.
That works for me.
I'm good for it.
Okay. Jeff, why don't you try turning your camera off on Zoom and then turning it back on?
All right.
Because all we're getting, I get a green. You're all green.
That's weird
And
because I can see him just
Yeah, I
fine.
see him fine.
Yeah, we're seeing him fine too.
you are.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, then maybe it's just me.
All right. So
Oh, now, yeah, you're back for me. Thank you.
okay. What, you don't like green?
Well, everything sort of blended in on, on you. So I was having a hard time telling if you were raising your hand or not.
wondering if it would help. It's a little late, but down on the bottom, we have a raised hand icon. You can see it. I'm flipping up there. I wonder if that would make it easier on you.
I thought about that. The hard part is getting them raised and lowered. And it shows up in a weird spot. It doesn't show up on my main screen,
Oh, okay.
which is where I can see the three of you.
In that case, never mind.
Yeah, it's working fine now that Jeff's not Hulk green
Not
anymore. It works. So we've got these three to pick third place.
Well, I would lean towards a sparrow somewhat.
Yeah, I had my original ranking, the owl and the sparrow, but they're both very, very good images.
Yes.
I like the owl too, for many of the same reasons as the rhino, in that it's a nice example of applied background texture.
Yep.
And I think the sparrow is an example of that too. Although for me, I would prefer to see a little bit more of the branch detail underneath on the lower side of the sparrow.
And that's the order I had them in, the owl and the sparrow.
Hmm.
I think the other image, what Young Love is, it's a
Very imaginative, yeah.
very imaginative and very well executed composite. And that's the difficulty about these altered reality
Yes.
classes to go through, is because it's so wide open on what you can
Mhm.
have. I think that's a well done image too. But to me, I think the owl would be my choice for the other place in this one.
Yeah, that was my choice as well.
Well, to me, it was a coin toss between the owl and the sparrow. I liked the way that at the base, it kind of seemed misted or faded in, but at the same time, both to me are excellent images. And I would, be willing to say, yes, the owl edges out just a little bit. So I think we can agree that we've probably picked the third place with the owl.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Jeff, you had a good point. That was very good background texturing. Without, and sometimes it's easy to get carried away with that,
It
even
is.
with a processed photo. So it didn't detract, and it blended well. So it was a good coloration pick.
Mhm.
All right, last one before the really hard part. Nature special theme. Elizabeth, since you got the website up, can you read you want to read anything special for that one?
Let's see.
I know it's flowers.
Flowers includes wildflower and domesticated cultivated flowers such as roses, tulips, etc. Subject should be presented in its natural environment and should not be moved to a studio location. Images captured in greenhouses, botanical gardens, and the like are allowed, but no hand of man should be visibly present. The appearance of the hand of man is prohibited. The subject should, oh yeah, we did that.
Yeah.
No mounted subjects are allowed. No manipulation is allowed except for cropping, exposure adjustments, and dust sensor removal. No cloning to add or delete elements to the composition is allowed.
We have 4 images that scored 15 and 13. Do you want to just see all? Well, I'll show all 4 first. And then we can make the choice if you want to just talk and pick first, second, and third from the 4, or if you want to do an in and out. So would you like to see all 4 at once, or?
Yes, please.
Sure.
Okay. Because they'll show up pretty good on your screen.
Well, I will say the asters with the, live elements in there, the bee and the butterfly, really tell a nice story. That one really got my attention. All of them did. Nobody can tell really that I seem to be partial to plant photography.
Yeah, this is Fred's forte right here.
So I really like the fact that they were able to grab that, and everything looks beautiful, crisp. The background doesn't detract. It's very nice. But then I look at the thistle, beautiful dark gradiated background. At first, I thought they had strictly used the flash method where they had a totally black background, but they managed to get gradation on that. Took a simple flower like a thistle and really made it stand out very well. Same thing with the tulip. Love that. The sunflower, beautifully done. The only thing that I have to say is that with the other very bright flowers in the background, it kept pulling my eye a little bit away from the main subject. So even though all 4 are very well done, I'll let everybody else jump in and say what they think on these.
I think the asters with the butterfly and the bee is a very nice placement of subject. And I agree the background is nicely non-distracting. It's blurred out. The thistle, I agree with everything you said. It's nice and sharp where it should be sharp. I think I differ a little bit on the sunflower. I think I like the repeated elements of the sunflowers in the background, and the depth of field has softened them a little bit. With that image, the lower left is a little bit open. For me, the tulip, I feel like the red channel's blown out on some of the detail on the petals of the tulip, but I think they're all good images.
Yes. Yeah, my favorites when I first looked at it was the butterfly and the thistle. I think the third would have been the sunflowers.
Hmm.
That's similar to what I was thinking too.
Right. Yeah, because like I said, I didn't really completely discount that it pulled my eye away on the sunflower. I definitely thought it needed to be in the hunt because it was very well done. And I see what you're saying, Jeff, with the repeated element, but I guess because of that openness on the left, it made it the upper elements on the left distract me a little bit for me with that. So I would tend to say if I had to pick a first and a second, it would be between the thistle and the butterfly bee on the asters. And I might be leaning just a little bit to the asters with the butterfly and bee as the number one.
I agree with that.
I go along with that. So I guess we can say this will be number 2. Sorry about that.
You got one in.
I know. I've been waiting for that one.
And is it sunflower for number 3 or?
I'd say sunflower number
Yes.
3.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think I would go with that. Yeah.
So number 1 is the aster.
Aster monarch. Yeah.
Butterfly bee. Yeah. And you know, Jeff, to me, not only was the background the depth of field was beautiful with it. The green really complemented everything else as far as the way the elements went. It wasn't over. Sometimes you get too much color back behind like that, trying to blur it out and get that nice shallow depth of field. So
The green and the purple play well off of each other.
yes, and of course that thistle, such a simple flower, very well captured.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just got a little cleanup and I gotta pull all the images into the right spot for the last one, which is the pick best of show.
Toughest category of all.
Yeah. I think we need a drum roll for that.
Yeah.
Almost there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we have 6 images from the 6 different divisions. I'll go through the 6 images. And so we're basically picking best of show from these 6 images.
And Jeff, I had the same 6 images, which is a
That's-
good thing.
That's good to hear. We can, if you want, we can do an in and out if that helps you at all.
I don't know. We might just be able to discuss it. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
It's up to you all.
Yeah, to me, the top 3 that I'm thinking are the 3 on the top row.
Yeah, when I look away and look back, that one in the middle on the top, I guess it's a lighthouse.
Mhm.
My eye immediately is drawn to that one. It just may be the drama of the image.
It's still very powerful. I'm liking the bear as well, though. But it sounds like at least Jeff and Jim have kind of agreed on the lighthouse with the waves. Or is Jeff having second thoughts?
It's tough.
I'm really torn between the top 3. I think they're
Okay.
the image on the right.
I love that
on
one
top,
too. Yeah.
Yes.
That's dramatic in a different way. I mean, it's dramatic because of the lighting.
Yes, it
Yes.
is.
Um,
And the wolf is so regal.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but to me, I think I am leaning to the lighthouse. That powerful wave. I mean, that the wave crashing, the way that the scene is framed up, the birds really add a lot in there, and that to me, I think that's the one I think.
I'm wondering, depending on where the wind was blowing, if the photographer got drenched when that was finished. Fred, you need to weigh in. I think
I know. And there's good to be said about every one of these. I think for the most, I've got 2 things to say on this one. One, I have to agree that lighthouse scene is extremely powerful, extremely well captured. All the elements work well together, and they couldn't have framed the lighthouse any better because it really gives you a sense of action and something going on here that's extremely not just powerful, but makes you appreciate nature's might and beauty in a scene like that. I have to say that there is a personal favorite that if I had a chance to if I had that, I would frame it and put it up on my wall, would be, of course, the one with the asters and butterfly. But I think that's just my personal favorite as far as a great photo. But I'm going to have to say for best of show, the lighthouse is going to have to take it just by a very small margin.
Okay. So the lighthouse it is. Well, great. So what we're going to end up trying to do, thank you, judges, for great job in getting all these scored. And, you know, it's a tough job, I know, going through all these images and getting the stuff that, getting these images picked out and scored. So we appreciate your help in all that. I'm going to try to put this show together on the fly. So I am not sure if I'm going to be able to do this or not, but we're going to give it a quick shot, but it's going to take me a minute. Because I got to rearrange a few quick images. What we're going to do is show the honorable mentions and the first, second, and thirds in somewhat of an order. Now, this is not official until Ken and I double check everything, but it should be fairly accurate. But I think everybody would love to see all the award-winning images. And there are 170 of them, so.
Just so everybody knows, the best to show image was Highways by Roger Krill.
Yeah, thanks, Ken. You can let them know maybe some of the others while I'm doing this quick, because this is going to take me another minute or two. It's going actually fairly easy.
While you're doing, I wanted to thank you all for including
Yes.
me in this year's competition, even though it was tough.
And there's a shameless plug for our podcast.
Yeah, I also want to say that your podcast is .net, not .com. I thought we said .com earlier, but
Oh, it is,
Well-
the podcast itself is .com.
And then we have a separate website that's a .net.
oh, the website's .net. Okay,
Yeah,
Sorry.
but the podcast is .com.
okay.
The bear image was hanging around by Stan. Hold on a second, I just lost it.
Zaduma.
Zaduma, Stan Zaduma, right.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see if this works.
Oh, okay, you got the names on there, Jeff, right?
Yeah. So these are the honorable mentions. Now this may take me a minute, hopefully my computer can handle this. But there's 170 images. We'll start with monochrome open. It is gonna, this show will last for about 15 minutes. Unless yesterday when I tried it, it sort of crashed halfway through. So we'll hope. This show will also be on the WACCO website so that everybody will be able to watch it once I get it confirmed with Ken and that. So. Come on, you almost got it.
Well, Jeff, it is running right now. It's
Yep. Well,
Nice.
great. Again, thank you, judges. You did a good job narrowing everything down from 475 starting images down to 170 award images and all the middle images that are with that. So again, thank you. Elizabeth, you have anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
I don't think so, but thank you. Again, it's always great to have judges from, this is why I'm kind of digging the virtual, because I can get people who aren't Wisconsin, so maybe the Wisconsin pictures are a little different than having all Wisconsin judges. And Fred, I knew the wildflower category. I had to get Fred. So thank you all very much.
Elizabeth, it's great to see you. Hope you can make it out to South Dakota this year.
Yep, I'll be trying.
Yep. And I do hope that I get a chance to run into all of you sometime in the near future.
Mhm.
So whether you come down to Florida or if you happen to see us at the Black Hills.
Great. Yeah, that'd be great to see if that happens. Well, again, thank you, everybody. Thank you, attendees, for watching and for entering. Without you entering images, we wouldn't have a photo competition. So keep an eye out. The next competition is in November with possibly a whole new set of rules. We're not quite sure yet. So thanks, everybody. And
Thank you. Have a good
have a
weekend.
nice day.